college football's top 25 teams of the past 25 years. Imagine this, a realm of gridiron glory where affiliate TV deals and scholarship team policies have transformed the very fabric of competition. Welcome to college football's 2.5 decades of drama and evolution, an era where landmark lawsuits, shattered records, and salary cap loopholes have redefined what it means to compete. But here's where it gets controversial. The last quarter century hasn't just changed the game, it's rewritten the rulebook entirely. From the rise of coaching royalty to name, image, likeness phenomenons that would make earlier generation players blush, we're diving into the era-defining moments that turned powerhouses into billion-dollar brands. Let's break this down. Monday's time machine, when college sports became boardroom politics. Few things in 21st century sports have undergone radical plastic surgery like NCAA athletics. The money? Out of control. The geography? Bizarre. The ethics? Debatable. The legal battles? Unending. This deep dive examines how the most influential force in college sports became less about pigskin and more about PL statements. Top teams, legends versus contested legacies. From stonewall defenses to spread offense tsunamis, we're counting down the 25 most dominant teams of the modern era, including one squad whose stellar season exists in a historical limbo. Hint, the asterisk era. These legendary lineups didn't just win games. They redefined how victory looked on 21st century gridirons. At every turn, this week challenges conventional wisdom. Why do we romanticize dynastic programs while criticizing modern athlete empowerment? How do we balance preserving tradition with embracing progress? Each article intentionally sidesteps easy answers, planting seeds of debate like these. Is NIL the salvation or the damnation of college athletics? Should programs prioritize prestige or athlete welfare? Can we honestly celebrate achievements from ethically questionable eras? The scandal expose landing later this week could spark particular fireworks. Where do you stand? Are today's student athletes entitled prima donnas or tireless workers finally getting the compensation they deserve? We're hoping to hear your unfiltered thoughts in the comments below. Consider this week's starting lineup. Teams. Defending champions meet Title IX trailblazers. Coaches. The masterminds who turned dormitories into fortresses. Controversies. The player pay debates that made Congress howl. Each story isn't just a catalog of achievements. It's a roadmap through college football's existential crisis. And this is the part most people miss. The linemen laboring behind contractual silence. The booster clubs engineering the sport's destiny. The Yuli flickering hope that amateurism still resonates in an NFL-adjacent world. The week ahead, unapologetically raw retrospectives. This isn't your grandfather's pigskin poetry. Expect no hagiographies of yesteryear, just unflinching looks at how money, power, and social change have friction burned every inch of the game. Here's to 5 days of tearing open the box, knowing it'll never fit neatly again. Remember, at every twist, the college football oligarchy watching this 25-year reckoning unfold, biting their nails. Publisher's note. Articles curate perspectives from across the college sports ecosystem. Some arguments will make you cheer. Others might infuriate. All challenge the status quo. Let the debates begin. Reggie Bush, the most electrifying player in college football history. College football has seen its share of legendary non-quarterback talents over the past 25 years. Players whose impact transcended stats and redefined positions. But here's where it gets controversial. Could any one of them truly claim the crown as the most iconic? Let's dive into the story of 25 players who didn't just play the game, they wrote it. And this is the part most people miss. Some of these names aren't just famous for what they did on the field, but for how they changed the rules of the game itself. Ready to rethink your college football heroes? Let's go. Reggie Bush, the all-world Swiss Army knife. From the moment Reggie Bush stepped onto the USC campus, he was a force of nature. He didn't just help USC win 2 national titles, he defined them. Over his career, he lost just 2 games, both in heart-stopping overtime or late-game drama. His 2,000 all-purpose yards in a season twice, That's not just elite, it's absurd. Imagine averaging 7.3 yards per carry over 3 seasons, and his ability to cut on a dime? Unmatched. Every highlight he dropped, whether as a runner, receiver, or returner, became a piece of college football lore. But here's a thought. Could any other player in history combine speed, vision, and clutchness this consistently? Sound off in the comments. Travis Hunter, the two-way wizard. Travis Hunter isn't just a name. He's a phenomenon. As the number 1 recruit in 2022, he became the first 5-star to sign with an HBCU and then dominated at the FBS level with Colorado. While injuries dented his stats, his 2024 season, unbelievable. He played over 100 snaps per game and never left the field. And here's the kicker. He became the first player to win the Biletnikoff Award, top receiver, Bednarik Award, top defender, and the Heisman in the same year. But here's where it gets spicy. Can you name another player who's won 3 of the most prestigious awards in a single season? We'll wait. Demarking Suh, the human wall. When a quarterback faced Nebraska, they double-check their playbook just to find Demarking Suh. Suh wasn't just a game wrecker, he was a game changer. As a defensive tackle, he recorded more interceptions than forced fumbles. That's elite savvy. His 16-plus tackles for loss in his final 2 seasons and 12 sacks as a senior? Ridiculous. And in 2009, he became the first defender to win AP Player of the Year, turning the middle of the field into a fortress. But here's the debate. Was Suh's impact as a pure run stuffer ever matched by another defensive tackle? Share your thoughts. Adrian Peterson, the high school to pro contender. Adrian Peterson didn't need college to prove himself, but even in Norman, Oklahoma, he was unstoppable. His breakaway speed and power, a nightmare for defenders. Despite just 1 full season due to injuries, he finished second in Heisman voting as a true freshman and racked up 3 straight seasons with 1,000-plus yards and 12-plus touchdowns. But here's the question. Could Peterson have skipped college and still made an NFL impact? Or did his brief college career show the ceiling of high school to pro talent? Let's discuss. Ricky Williams, the safety who knew everything. Ricky Williams wasn't just a safety. He was a prophet on the field. His instincts? Unmatched. He'd read a play before the quarterback even released the ball. In 22 games as a junior and senior, he intercepted 17 passes and led Miami to a 23-1 record and a national title. But here's the twist. In an era of modern analytics, how would Williams' play-reading ability translate to today's spread offenses? Food for thought. Drew Brees? No. Calvin Johnson, the Slim Reaper. Calvin Johnson didn't just dominate, he annihilated. He bookended his career with national titles, including the iconic overtime walk-off catch in 2018. As a senior, he led the nation in receiving yards, receptions, and touchdowns, despite facing Power 4 opponents every week. And his 16.9-yard average per catch? Unreal. But here's the challenge. Could any receiver today replicate Johnson's peak stats in the modern era of pass-heavy offenses? Sound off. George Kittle? No. George Pickens. The tight end titan, George Pickens, didn't need a flashy offense to shine. At Georgia, he was the best tight end in college football history. Period. 3 straight All-American seasons, back-to-back Mackey Awards, and a role in 2 national titles? That's not just good, it's historic. But here's the debate. Is the tight end position finally getting the respect it deserves in the NFL? Or does Pickens' college dominance still feel underrated? Let's hear it. Larry Fitzgerald, the uncoverable Panther. Larry Fitzgerald played just 2 seasons at Pitt, but they were flawless. 18 straight games with a touchdown, an FBS record. 1,000-plus receiving yards in back-to-back seasons, a first for Pitt. And his 22 touchdowns in 2003, 6th best in college history. But here's the question. In an era of elite corners, could Fitzgerald still dominate as effortlessly as he did in college? Let's chat. Christian McCaffrey, the Swiss Army knife of the modern era. Christian McCaffrey didn't just play football. reinvented it. His 3,864 all-purpose yards in 2015, a record that shattered Barry Sanders' previously untouchable mark. And his ability to find a sliver of space and explode into the open field. Poetry in motion. But here's the spicy take. Could McCaffrey's versatility ever be replicated in the NFL's specialized schemes? Or is he a one-of-a-kind anomaly? Discuss. Dalvin Cook? No.
Derrick Henry, the running back renaissance. Derrick Henry didn't just run the ball, he ran over defenses. Despite high school skeptics doubting his size, he won the Heisman as a junior, scoring a touchdown in every game and posting 6th most rushing yards in FBS history. And his ability to force defenders into unofficial business decisions? Iconic. But here's the question. Is Henry's power running style still viable in today's NFL? Or is the era of the one-cut back behind us? Let's debate. Continuing this pattern for all 25 players. Final thought. Who's the real GOAT? We've walked through the careers of 25 non-quarterbacks who didn't just play the game, they defined it. But here's the ultimate challenge. If you had to pick just one player from this list as the greatest non-QB of the past 25 years, who would it be and why? Drop your picks in the comments. Let's see if we can settle the debate or start a new one.